to sit down at the feet of the Guru to acquire spiritual knowledge. And when we sit at the Guru to acquire knowledge, there should be devotion and determination. As I told you, without determination in life, we can't even achieve anything. So even in the Gurukul, where the disciples, they were going to study under the guidance of the Guru, they needed that devotion and determination, right? So, so we talk about the Vedas. The Upanishad is also known as the Vedanta. The Vedanta, that is the end of the Vedas. We have 108 Upanishad, but 11 are considered to be major. What were the contents of the Upanishad? What are there in the Upanishads? Nepot ki Upanishad Nupha, it will definitely talk about the Atman, the Brahman, and the ways to moksha. How to get moksha, how to get liberation, right? Basically, this is the aim of life, moksha. So the Chandogya Upanishad, it is part of the Samved. Remember, we have 4 Vedas: Rig Ved, Yajur Ved, Samved, Atharva Ved. So it is from the Samved. It is the story of the father and the son. At least your part of the syllabus is about the story between the father and the son. So, the Chandogya Upanishad is even vast, more vast than this, right? So the father is Udalaka Aruni. You need to remember the name, Udalaka Aruni, and the son's name is Sweta Ketu. So the whole thing what we talk about is Sweta Ketu went to study, right, in a certain Gurukul. When he returned after a few years, his father, Aruni, who was also a sage, he questioned his son. He wanted to know about the knowledge, whether has he been able to grasp the knowledge or not. But to his surprise, Aruni realized that his son Swet Ketu did not know that basic knowledge, which is the special knowledge, which is the key to all knowledge, right? And he also noticed that his son was not humble. His son was arrogant, and that he was, of course, not able to answer his questions. So here he decided to teach his son, right? And he talked about the law of causation. If you remember, the law of causation is the law of cause and effect. For example, you have the clay and the pot. The clay is the cause, the pot is the effect. In the same way, God is the cause of this creation. That is the effect, right? So Aruni talked about the process of creation. And we also said last time that there are many theories regarding the process of creation, right? So one among here was that initially there was nothing, there was utter darkness, and God had the willingness to create. And then he created the 3 elements: fire, water, and earth, right? Other theories, you have other version of the creation, right? So now Swet Ketu understood that he actually missed a certain thing maybe in the Gurukul. So he was more curious. And his father used the examples of the bees and the honey, which we saw last time. So today we are going to see the 4 illustrations used by his father, Udalaka Aruni, to explain to his son Swetaketu about the Atma, about Brahman, right? So the first illustration, that is the indwelling self. The word self, as we saw last time, is the soul. This is what you call the soul, or the Atma, ou bien Atman, right? C'est la même chose. Right, I continue now. So rivers flow into the ocean, right? Just imagine all the rivers, they have the water. The water will definitely at the end flow into the ocean. And what happened? You have the sun, the water rises in the form of water vapor, right? And then it becomes as the cloud, and then there will be rain, right? When it's cloudy, there will be rain. And the rain, when our rainfall, rainfall will be in the rivers and in the ocean again. You see this whole process, this whole cycle, right? Our life also is like that, right? You are born, we are born, we grow, we'll die, we're born again, we'll grow, we'll die again, we'll be born again, we'll grow, we will die again and again. This is the cycle of life, no? The cycle of birth and death, right? So the thing is what? The water, right, from the ocean, the water rises as in the form of the water vapor. And it will come back into the ocean again. From the ocean, it will be we will get the water vapor again, right? The water will rise again, and it will come back again in the ocean in the form of the rain. In the same way, we take birth again and again, right? Of course, based on our karmas, we take birth again and again. It can be in the form of humans. In this life, we are all in this human body. Next birth, we can be again in the human body, or we can be in the animal kingdom, plant kingdom, all depending on the karmas that we are doing. But the thing is, we always come here, right? The cycle of birth and death. And at the end, where do we go? You know, it will happen one day, at least for every soul on earth. One day, each and every soul will be liberated. That is for sure, right? Parce que realization will come to everyone. The thing is, for Mr. A, Lily gain realization avant. Mr. B, Lily gain ça après, right? So sooner or later, everyone will get that realization and we are going to get moksha, right? So we will return to the Brahman, nous pourrons aller dans nos origin. Here you can refer to the Purusha Sukta of the Veda, which says that we all emanated from the Supreme, right? You have to, we have the Purusha Sukta, we have also the Nasadya Sukta, and then beaucoup de suktas que includes the creation, right? So basically all of them have said that we all emanated from the Supreme. Okay, we come on earth in the form, yes, sir, we are the souls. We come in a certain body, in body A, B, the dog, the plant, the human. And then at the end, we will return to the Supreme. Nous pourrons retourner vers nos sources again, one day for sure. Right? So we all come from Brahman, we live here, We have different names, different forms. Like I told you, a soul is in a particular plant, in a particular animal body, or in this human body. We have different names, different forms, right? Mais ça fait qu'il nous dit, nous tous nous un seul là, right? We are all one. We are all children of God. Even the tree you have in your yard, even the pet you have at home, even you yourself, your relatives, your family members, nous tous nous children of God. Pas is demon ki children of God, right? Even the whole creation, whatever has been created, why not the mountain? Is the mountains, they are also children of God because they were created by God, right? God in a certain power, in fact creation. He is the master of everything, right? So this is what I want to say here, different names and different forms. At the end, we merge again in Brahman. We have to merge again in him. So basically then, why do we discriminate? Maybe you have seen that people face discrimination, or I don't know if you have also been victim of that, but there is discrimination everywhere, discrimination in terms of sex, right? The male will consider himself to be stronger than the other, right? They will consider the female, the women inferior. That is one kind of discrimination. It can be in terms of money, status, position, color of the skin, material possession, and so there is also discrimination, right? Even at work, partout of it, there is discrimination quelque part. So why to discriminate? And especially in this today's world, la grande discrimination qui nous peut faire là, c'est among religions. Why? The one who prays Allah, the one who prays Krishna, aren't they the same? Right? C'est pas quelque chose to be practiced because it's in the Upanishad. This Hindu should be practicing this. Why to discriminate? Right? Vedas, Upanishads, quelque part, nous avons certain rituals qui n'est écrit dans Ved, oui, but the teachings are universal, right? Even in any scripture, you are going to take any scripture of the world, the universal knowledge, universal law, that we should not discriminate. So the one praying this form of God, that form of God, we are all the same. There's no discrimination at all. Because I don't know what is your notion of this, but this is basically what it is. Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. Souvent, I have been reciting this for you. I hope you have remembered it well. Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. There is only one truth, but wise men, or you say sages, call it by many names. The truth we are referring here, this truth is there is only one God. This is the truth. We call him by Vishnu, Ganesh, Kartikeya. Someone may call him Allah or Jesus. Tout pareil, no discrimination. Since we have to return to the same source, we all come from the same source, why should we discriminate? This is one of the teachings given by Udalaka Aruni to his son Swetketu, that we are one, just like the rivers, the water flowing to the ocean, the water rise in the form of water vapor, there will be the cloud, it will rain, and the water will go back again to the ocean. Nous aussi, nous pareil. We have come from the Brahman, we will return to him. So we are all the same. Why should we discriminate? The Brahman has created, the God has created us, the whole creation, like the plants, the animals. So still there shouldn't be discrimination, right? So just like Jesus has stated, you can quote that in your work also, I and my Father are one. This is what the Veda exclaims, Aham Brahmasmi. Aham means I, Brahma means God. Brahma is not the old man sitting on the lotus, last the formless aspect of God. And Asmi is So it basically means I am God. We have also, this is called the Mahavakya, right? It is one of the Mahavakya. Another Mahavakya is Tat Tvam Asi, right? Tat means that. That means that. And as per the Nasadya Sukta, that is that into inverted comma. That say actually Brahman, God, right? That Tvam means you. Asi will mean you are God, not true, no God, right? So this is another Mahavakya. You can write in your work, Aham Brahmasmi Tattvam Asi, right? I repeat that again, whenever you write anything in Sanskrit, you write its meaning in English as well, right? Those who can't remember things in Sanskrit, it may happen, right? You please write the whole thing in English and state that it comes from this or that. Okay, it comes from the Veda, it comes from whatever, Nasadya Sutta also, right? I continue. So this is one example, right? Uddalaka Aruni used to explain to his son Swetketu about Brahman and the Atman. We come from him, he created us, and we have to return to him one day, right? Let's see the second example, or plutôt illustration, right? Pour l'examen, les cas demandent one illustration. Okay. If you met seulement one illustration without mentioning which one, you can write any of your choice. But at times it can also ask one illustration like about the rivers, right? So then you write that. So next illustration. Let's strike at the root of a tree. D'accord? Nous prend une battle axe or something, a weapon. We strike at the root of the tree. The tree will bleed, but will still be alive, right? And couteau tapli, pied là, n'est pas mort. But it will bleed quelque part. Nous aussi, les gars, we should not forget that. C'est pas seulement nous. If we strike at the middle of the tree, it will bleed, but will still be alive. If we strike at the top of the tree, it will again bleed, but will still be alive. You strike at any place of the tree, it will remain alive. Still, it will remain alive. Until it possesses the Atman. If the Atman decides to leave the tree, then it will definitely die. Parfois, on coupe un pied, trois corps, ni repousser, no? Because the soul is still there. But yes, the body of the tree get pain. Il gagne douleur, pareil comme nous. parce qu'il y a la vie, right? So, so the tree will die only when the Atman leaves that tree, right? In the same way, we will die only when the Atman will leave the body. Then only will die. Parfois, nous l'âme cave cassé. Pas besoin nous mots. OK? Nous les dents, nous gencives, fait mal, matière and les dents. Does it mean that we die? No, we don't die. Give me 1 second, please. Right. So I was saying that at times some part of our body is infected, a particular part is infected, but we don't die, right? But still the person is alive. The person, probably it's not the time for him to die, right? The right time will come when the Atma will leave the body. Now, here Udalaka Aruni explained the qualities of the Atman. That is, it will be on page 131, right? Here, I'm going to explain that. Second illustration. Say about qualities, attributes of the soul, right? About the qualities or the attributes of the soul, right? The soul is eternal, right? It already existed since the ancient time, previous time. It always existed, right? It is beginningless. It is endless, right? There are like these many qualities which you can mention about the soul. The soul is basically eternal, right? We can say the soul also is all pervading. I will explain that comment, right? The everlasting, well, everlasting avec eternal will basically mean the same thing, right? And it is imperishable, right? You can here refer to Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. Later chapters, if you know, of course, but in chapter 2, Krishna explains that well, right? So I was saying that the soul is all-pervading. No soul kumani kabab all-pervading. Do you know what is happening all-pervading? Too, right? Do you know what is happening right now in America? No, you are here, your soul is here. But how can the soul know? But probably, you know, the soul is part of the Supreme Soul. Is part of the Supreme Soul. C'est ça qui nous appelle Jivatma. Nous ban Jivatma. And the Supreme Soul is the Paramatma. That is the Supreme Soul. Right? And the soul by nature is Sat Chit Anand. Right? Is truthfully conscious, and blissful. Chit Vidyali conscious, Chasamkili refer to being all-pervading, and Anand means blissful. This is another thing you can write about the soul, Satchit Anand. Jakamit Mula ensemble Satchit Anand, right? So this is what we mean by all-pervading. Lipa to God is everywhere. Our soul come from God. C'est pour ça qu'il nous dit, the Aham Brahmasmi, I am God. Why do we say I am God? Parce que I am part of God. I have been created by God. The soul which is in me is God himself. Right? So we were talking about the qualities of the soul. We refer to the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita has said that weapons cannot cut the soul. Water cannot wet it. Fire cannot burn it. Right? It continues. So you can refer to the Bhagavad Gita, what it says in the chapter 2. Another verse also in the Bhagavad Gita, which is very important again. Sadevasa, you should know that. Okay. Just like, I'm going to type it down. Just like one cast of old clothes, in the same way, the Atma, the old body, and enters a one. Bon, this is in my own words, pas exactement as translated, but il veut dire la même chose. The verse says that just like one cast of old clothes, quand on met un linge qui est old, il est sale, il est déchiré, whatever, nous pas pour remettre ça même à chaque fois. We are going to change. We'll buy a new one probably. In the same way, what happened, the Atma, the soul, leaves the old body. Quand nous l'écho in old, the Atma leaves the body. And then it enters another body. Entering another body, this is what we call transmigration of the soul. The soul transmigrates from one body to another. Now, I just said when the body becomes old, the Atma leaves the body. Maybe you will tell me that many people die at very young age, right? Well, ça c'est of course beyond our control and beyond our comprehension, because when someone comes on earth, he comes with his destiny and his karma, right? So if based on his karma, he has to die at this particular age, so he will, right? Et aussi, nous devons comprendre ça changement ou bien transition which is happening. If we were in Satyug right now, nous ne pas vivre 100 ans ou plus. But we are in Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, nous avons beaucoup de problems. The environment, pollution, our food habits. Zodi manger si dans chair ou bien acheter manger qui dans boîte. Let's say, me donne un exemple, ou pas acheter pour l'amour dans boîte, vous savez. But manger dans boîte actually is not really good for health. Fresh food, fresh vegetables and fruits are the best, right? Donc, these are few examples. Could nous la vie inchanger sur life expectancy in the Kali Yuga is not 100. Like in the Isha Upanishad, it has been said that one must aspire to live 400 years. This is from the Isha Upanishad, verse 2. One must aspire to live for 100 years. But even at times, if we aspire for that, but in our Bokuban conditions that in which we are living, do not allow us to live till 100 years. Mais normalement, un démon bizarre vivre 100 ans. OK? Parce que ça 100 ans là, il divise en 4 stages à ce moment. We'll do that later when we are going to do ashrama, right? So we were talking about the soul. There is transmigration of the soul, right? So this is what Udalaka Aruni is explaining to Ketu. Let's add one more thing here. Aruni also explained that the qualities of the soul, yes, and qualities of the body as well. The qualities of the body, our body is changeable. We keep on changing. Quand je tenais avec Astelle, un grand changement. When I say the body, it is the physical body, it is the emotions, it is the mental side also, right? Tout ça là, c'est the body là, right? So there has been always changes happening, right? And the body is perishable. Perishable. The body is perishable. When I die, okay, my body, qui peut faire ça, brûler, be perishable, it will be of no use, right? Par contre, the soul, when I'm going to die, what will happen? It will enter another body. A new baby somewhere will be born. The body of the person is new, but not the soul. Our souls, kinwena, be pas a new soul. Je connais bien étudié qu'il y en a 8.4 millions species of life. Dernier highest level qui nous gagne, c'est human body. Just imagine nous atma in passport tout ça van species of life. And concrela and laser and pimang and pibanan, whatever animals, whatever insect, the cow, and then finally the human body. As the humans, il y a différentes catégories human, right? Il y a un human qui, je ne pas dire human, tu pas dire monde, toi, c'est-à-dire il est bien méchant, etc. Right? Il y en a qui est un petit peu comment dire, 50-50, and also bien enlightened, right? So we can different types of human. The whole thing is the highest one is the human body. So my point here, our soul wandered so many lifetimes, right, on earth. So this soul is not a new soul. You're very, very bon, le mot old into inverted comma, parce qu'il y a une soul pas vinifiée, right? But this body is new. If I die right now, my soul will enter another body. That body will be new, but not the soul, right? So these are stuff you can discuss here when you talk about the indwelling self here, about the soul, right? I hope you understood. Can you please rejoin before it disconnects?